Hello, I'm Danny de Hek, aka the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger. I'm here to name and shame anyone running or promoting a Ponzi scheme or a scam. This video is dedicated to Keith Williams. Keith Williams was a notorious multi-level marketing Ponzi scheme promoter. And it would be fair to say I did my apprenticeship with Keith Williams. The very first Zoom meeting that I gate crashed was actually going head to head with Keith Williams. When I was featured in the New York Times, my story was all around my chase at trying to stop Keith Williams, Kalpesh Patel, Brenda Chunga, Bitcoin Rodney, Clayton Ford, and numerous other people that were promoting a Ponzi scheme called HyperVerse. I got quite a lot of publicity on my quest to try and stop and warn and save people from investing in a Ponzi scheme. Going by the newspapers and the research and the investigators, they claim that this Ponzi scheme has defrauded mum and dad investors from over $1.9 billion worth of money that people have invested using crypto. It was rampant. To date, I've done over 1,000 videos on my YouTube channel trying to warn people about doing due diligence, using logic, and all sorts of things. Unfortunately, Keith Williams, on the 12th of April 2024, lost his battle to cancer. He was battling with liver and stomach cancer. He died in, I can't say the name of the place. Granada, where he was getting treatment. He finally gave up and didn't follow up with his treatment plans. I don't quite know how to process the fact when someone like that passes away. A lot of people think he was a good community leader. He was a beloved husband, dad, grandfather. I mean, those things any family who's closely knit together would be devastated at losing a family member. I've lost my fair share of family members as well. Part of my quest as the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger is I was brought up in a religious cult, and I've had two people in my family, in my immediate family, my stepfather and my sister, die by suicide because of the detrimental effects that the Jehovah's Witness organization and beliefs put on people and the expectations of trying to live up to the high standard. I believe that was the cause of their death. Even recently, my own mother at 80 years of age, just 3 or 4 months ago, was trying to harm herself because she was in a bad way. She is a staunch Jehovah's Witness, and I won't go into that tonight. But my point is, I go after these Ponzi scheme promoters because they gaslight people and they overtalk people so they don't get a word in, and they just force these Ponzi schemes and these scams. They don't let people talk. They don't let people answer questions. And unfortunately, Keith was one of the best. He was changing people's lives. He thought he was better than the average person because he was changing people's lives for the better. But he had a blatant disregard for the people who were losing money to the investment opportunity he was promoting. I jumped onto a Zoom with him and I asked him a couple of questions. Keith Williams, how do you sleep at night knowing that you are scamming people? Whether he believed he was doing a noble act, the evidence was overwhelming that he was promoting a Ponzi scheme. Ponzi schemes have been around for a long time. He was certainly, in my eyes, no Robin Hood. The night that I confronted him, I found him on LinkedIn. and he sent me a whole lot of messages. I was actually looking at them today, and I thought, I didn't actually read them. I'm very dyslexic, and I skim over what I read. But a lot of people say, "Oh, Keith was a good guy," and I don't want to take any. It says community leader and friend. And when I read the word community leader and friend, I want to add a few extra words in there. Now, there's $1.9 billion gone missing from mum and dad investors. So what I wanted to do, and the purpose of this video, and it may be a bit harsh and it may be a bit close to when Keith is actually passed, but I think people need to see the type of people and the desperation, or not desperation, but the extents that people will do to get rich. We've sent people around to Keith's £3 million mansion. We've had them knock on his doors. He's been coming after me, trying to get my videos removed. He's thrown back as much mud as he can at me to stop me. He's threatened my family. He's threatened my welfare. He's insulted my intelligence. But there's one very important fact. He's got a couple of $1 million in the bank. Well, he did, apparently. He's got property investments. And I've heard from pretty reliable sources that he's been transferring money offshore to hide the money he's got from the community. If you go to my YouTube videos, you can see I've actually put an archive of 2 videos with Keith Williams running a Zoom meeting. The first video is about how much sun people were shining up his backside, saying what a wonderful man he is, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And it was like 35 people coming onto this Zoom meeting saying they were skiting about how much money they were making by selling these packages, and how wonderful and how awesome it was being part of the community of Keith. And then the next video is when all the money dried up and Keith gave the speech of his life. It was absolutely awesome. He was at the peak of his career. He was basically telling people that HyperVerse was over. There was no money left, but he did promise that he would help people get their ones times. The priority was to get people's one times back, meaning if you put $1,000 in, he wanted to make sure you got your $1,000 back, so you didn't lose anything. He became the global sales representative for HyperNation. He told people in the video that he had actually bought a supernode license or a node license. He'd basically said, I'm starting again. I've made a shitload of money on HyperVerse. There's no money left. We'll try to get the people's one times back. But in the meantime, I'm off to the next opportunity, and I'm going to promote HyperNation. About 2 weeks after the video that you might see on my YouTube channel, they announced that he was the global sales representative. And around about December 2023, I think it was, he was meant to be, or 16th, something around there, he was meant to come out and be at a launch, and he never showed. We never saw him again. Didn't know what happened. Community man didn't communicate with his community because no one knew what happened to him. We thought he had gone into hiding. In fact, I was about to do a video saying that Keith Williams didn't have cancer. It was an exit strategy, because I saw a billboard advertising Keith's 60th birthday bash. I had a neighbor phone up telling me, when is Keith Williams going to jail? He said he's always having noisy parties. So when I heard he was having a 60th birthday bash, he was living in a £3 million mansion, and I also knew he liked to travel, and I had heard there'd been a bit of traveling. I was going to launch a video basically telling everyone where his house was, showing the lifestyle and what wealth he had from scamming people. A good friend of his rang me up and basically told me that Keith really does have stage 4 cancer, and he's trying to fight the battle of cancer, which obviously he'd lost on the 12th of April 2024. So I didn't actually name where he lived until a lot longer, but the attitude I got was, Keith's got a lot of money. And I said to his friend, well, why doesn't he give it back? to the people. Oh, that wouldn't work. He says, how would that work? I said, well, why doesn't he go to the authorities and give the money back? You know, why doesn't there's Mike Lucas out there, the man that was in the video that was embedded in my article in the New York Times, who put $25,000 US into HyperVerse, and he was directly under Keith Williams. And that was his life savings. And this guy was on the sickness benefit. Why doesn't Keith give people like that their money back and do the right thing? Nope, he kept it all for himself and his family. I believe Andrew is his son, and I believe that he is now in charge of Keith's estate. Why are these people allowed to live in a £3 million house? Why are these people allowed to have property investments? Why are they allowed to have money in the bank? Why are they allowed to have overseas accounts where they're stashing money? Keith, have you left a legacy? I don't think you have. What type of legacy have you left your children? I can't sort of say, ooh, poor Keith. I could probably say things more like karma catches up with everybody. Hey, this video might not be the right type of video for myself to do. Karma may catch up with me. But I can't sleep at night thinking that Keith is a good guy. I've got nothing really personal against him, but day in and day out, I spend 70, 80 hours of my week fighting these scammers. And one of them dies, and we're all meant to say, hey, people have been saying, don't do any more videos about Keith. You know, show some respect. I can't. I don't have any respect for Keith. I feel sorry for his family because I know what it's like to lose people you love. It's not a nice thing. And even though I lost my stepfather when I was 9 and I'm 54 now, I still think about it every day. It had a massive impact. But a lot of people work all their lives for their life savings. I want to show you some stuff that you have never seen before. And that is the correspondence I had with Keith Williams. And it started the day after I confronted him about running the scam. And he wasn't having a bar of it. This is Keith Williams' LinkedIn profile. And I'm going to enlarge the screen so you can see it. And this is the correspondence between Keith and Danny de Hek. And at that time, I wasn't called the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger. And it started back in March the 30th, 2022. And I'd just been on Keith's Zoom meeting and gate crashed it, which I do every day now. But I don't want this to be too morbid, but I want you to understand what I go through with these guys. I want you to understand what it's like going up against these scammers. They've got more money than a bull can shit, and I don't. But these scammers are so greedy. They go after insults. They've got nothing against me. So I sent him the link of the video that I uploaded after I gate crashed. And I said, not the best video, but it will do the job nicely because I want to expose and name and shame these people. Keith Williams, HyperVerse scammer. Do not be defrauded by serial internet tech scam artists. That was the headline. So Keith wrote back to me, and I'm going to get my computer to read this because I will make a hash of it otherwise.
Serial internet tech scam artist. Good luck with that. 107 views. Face rolling on the floor laughing. 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 Good luck with your clout chasing too. I love the suit and tie. You want to be news reporter. Face rolling on the floor laughing. Face rolling on the floor.
So Keith thought I was a reporter because I was wearing a suit. So the first thing he could do was just go after my cheap suit. And that was sort of something that happened. And he thought I was a wannabe news reporter. So flinging the insults straight away. So I suggested that he subscribe to my YouTube channel to watch other videos. And I showed him the stats of the video. That video actually got some amazing traction. I think it got up to like 10,000 views. And that was when I didn't have much traffic. So then I wrote in a few messages.
At this rate, you should have about 10,000 people over the next month. Just like my other video has now had 10,000 views exposing the scam and the scum of the earth people that keep it running. Should do really good. Have you done a search for your name on Google?
And I have to say, I used to own, and I think I still do, Keith Williams' name, and that's what I do. So I was showing him the stats, and then he comes back with another remark.
No need, bro. You're the waste of space scum. I'm doing good with my mission. What's yours? Pimping YouTube. Go get an education, dummy, seeing as you couldn't handle schoolwork. Oh, and keep up the outstanding work to humanity and good luck with your shitty membership. Looks like you're the one scamming innocent people. You want to be roving reporter. Keep in touch, face with the tears of joy. Face
Hey,
with the tears of joy. Face with the tears of joy.
stop those tears of joy. Anyway, this was before he even knew me, pinging insults at me. That video did get 10,000 views.
Subscribe to your YouTube channel. Don't make me laugh. Things must be really tough for you right now. Feeling the pinch since COVID-19 hit? Need to make some extra cash? Oh, that's right, last resort, let's get money from YouTube, can't lose, right? Face rolling on the floor laughing. Face rolling on the floor laughing. Face rolling on the floor laughing. Hey, for real. I only subscribe to channels that are professional and have interesting content. Yours unfortunately is garbage waste paper basket. And you need to get a decent suit. Yours is dog shit face with wide open eyes and flushed cheeks.
So quite impressive insults, really. And trust me, he's just getting warmed up. So then I published another video. This one was more about Brenda Chunga. She's been arrested and brought in for questioning. And then she was trying to bring justice. She was trying to trap Sam Lee. They released her and she became an informant. And they were trying to bring Sam Lee into America so they could arrest him. So I didn't know that at the time, but Brenda Chunga, HyperVerse scammer. Don't be defrauded by serial scam artists. Every time you search for your name, you will think of me. And that's true. Search for any, if you're going to sit here and promote, name and shame these Ponzi schemes or scams, search for your name and see that you're going to have that on the internet for ages. So then I wrote another message.
G'day mate, just been looking at the stats of your video is up to 1,500 hours. Not bad result. Doing a video on the Cowpat guy next. I'm going, you wouldn't know where Stephen is by any chance we've got a bounty on him.
So we couldn't find Stephen Reese Lewis, and I was offering people, I think I was offering people money at the time. And Cowpat equals Kalpesh Patel. So Keith replied, listen to this.
I'm shaking in my boots. Do you think your irritation will derail us? You're just a pimp, plain and simple. Bro, us little man. Watch out, bro. You may have to deal with some heavy stuff coming your way. Hope your partner is ready for the fight. Be careful who you're messing with. I really feel sorry for you. No money. And almost homeless, and now you see an easy gravy train. Negative news cell, right? Don't you feel like a failure? Your family must be pretty disappointed in you too. I would be. I feel sorry for them. You at the head of the family. Embarrassing. Being a Jehovah's Witness cult member must have been a very bad experience. Totally messed you up, right?
Pretty aggressive, isn't it? I mean, he didn't know me from a bar soap, really. He's telling me I'm a broke-ass man. I don't mind being broke. And what's wrong with not having any money, by the way? These guys chase money like it's their religion. It's like a religious cult. And then the other thought, he said he's going to hope your partner is ready for the fight. Be careful who you're messing with. You know, and then he goes after my religion that I haven't been part of for 30 years. Classic. Anyway, he carries on.
Bro, I don't bother with social media. I'm old school. Do you think I spend time on social media? You clearly think it's what everyone does. You needed to because you have no formal education. Not me, you idiot. One little man talking shit, don't cut it.
So he goes after my education. Never denied that I'm not dyslexic. Literally got a reading and writing level of a 9-year-old. That's what they told me when I got tested. So I'm relatively polite.
All good, mate. Do you have any information on Kalpesh Patel? Remind doing some videos on him.
Wouldn't mind is the words I meant to use. Danny de Hek equals dumb shit. Nah, you're the internet sleuth. Ha 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 ha. More laughter. So then I carry on.
Looks like I've upset you. Sorry about that, bro. Don't take it to heart. I'm sure you've got pretty thick skin. Quite like those smiley faces you do. How do you make them come up on the screen?
He's the he was the actual clever guy at the time.
You haven't upset me. I'm too old to get upset. But make sure you and your family are prepared for what's coming your way.
Make sure your family's prepared for what's coming your way. Now, this is the guy that's telling me he's doing good in the community and he's changing lives, but he wants to change my life by the sounds of it. Quite interesting, really. So let's carry on.
Well, I'm glad I haven't upset you. That's really good.
Well, it's good I haven't upset you.
I don't really have much of the family. Unfortunately, they are still in the Jehovah's Witness cult, so whatever you see in their way will be much appreciated.
Yeah. Now, a lot of the time is, you won't believe this, but I start this sort of banter off with these people, and I've done this with Sam Lee. I chatted to him for 3.5 hours, and then you start to build some sort of relationship with people, and then you start having a normal conversation. So sometimes I look at these conversations and I think maybe we can turn this around to an amicable conversation, and then we might be able to discuss some things. Now, I did that with Kalpesh Patel, and I had Kalpesh Patel sharing information with me about Keith and Sam Lee. And it started off a bit of a gunfight, flinging match, shit fight, and then we start having a normal conversation. And that was really what I was trying to do here, believe it or not.
As I said, I'm too old to get upset. Been doing good for a long time, bro.
So he really believes he's a Robin Hood.
I must say you do sound like you are coming across as a bit of an internet bully. Is that how you get what you want? Does that actually work for you?
Yeah. Don't know. Here we go.
Internet bully. But I told you I'm not much on socials.
So you can see he's not much on socials. He's only got 447 connections on his LinkedIn account. I've got 7,000. How about that? But this guy did manage to, probably in my guesstimations, help people invest over $1 billion into HyperVerse. And he didn't have much of a following if he's only got 447 people.
I have no doubt that you've been doing good for a long time. Well done you. I just couldn't go down that road of misleading people myself, but if it works for you, you go for it, mate.
Yep. You do whatever it takes to get rich. I would rather be poor and on the bones of my ass for the rest of my life, knowing that I saved someone from losing their whole inheritance that they worked their whole life for. But not these guys.
Don't get it and don't need it.
Incredible. So what did I write here? Where are we going? We're still going.
I'm just talking about my experience that I'm having with you right now, and you seem like you were using bully tactics, threatening my family and the like.
Yeah, so he's threatened my family. Now, these days, I know exactly what he is doing. He gaslights people. Are you getting gaslighted by somebody in the community? Are you getting told how to think and how to act and how to question people? That's what these guys do, and Keith was good at it.
I'm sure you're a busy man. What do you actually spend your money on? And a curiosity, like, what's the point of gathering all this money? What do you with it? Do you invest in real estate, or do you have a couple of really nice cars?
So I'm asking him stupid questions because I want to see what he's going to come back with. I'm trying to get in and have a conversation with him.
I suggest you do better research. There are way too many members that have excelled in HyperVerse.
Excelled in HyperVerse. I've got a list of 125 VIPs in HyperVerse. I can bring up every single person that was associated in the management and the leadership team of HyperVerse. They don't all share the same joy anymore. I have rung up probably about 35 of them, still got more to go. I even had one of them ring me today because a lot of them are ashamed about what happened, and they've gone into stealth mode and they don't want people to know who they are. But I've got their phone numbers, and they're from all over the world. South Africa, America, Canada, Australia.
Mate, you don't need to give me advice, but thanks for trying. As I said in the video, deflection is a great strategy. Doesn't really work with me.
Yes, the deflect away from answering your questions.
No, not threatening your family, bro. As I said, just be prepared for a battle.
I remember asking him about Stephen Reese Lewis, and Keith said to me, "Oh, so he went off on a tangent." What did he say? I forgot that about.
No, not threatening your family, bro. As I said, just be prepared for a battle.
Be prepared for a battle, not threatening my family. And then previously, he just talked about watching out for my partner and some other stuff. So it just goes on. Right?
You sound like you were really angry. I'm not trying to cause you any stress. Mate, I enjoy the banter.
And I do enjoy the banter. Now, at the moment, we're trying to actually get Sharvis to come in here and join us. But they don't. They just sit there and blow names at us, and they don't even answer our questions, even though we've totally transparently turned these scams inside out and proven in the conversation of Boomerang. These guys, we've shown that it's not even real arbitrage trading. And we even had a leadership meeting that we got, and we've played that, and you can hear that they know they're running a scam. Go look at my YouTube shorts, you'll see what I mean. But they just, it's just what they do. They're all the same. I try to reason with these guys and see what makes them tick.
Why are
Money.
you using words like angry?
He's already threatened me.
Not
Now,
really into having a pissing competition.
yeah, I don't care if you want to be a scammer, go for it.
I have no issues with banter. I love it too.
Oh, that's good. It gets better.
Sound like you enjoy psychology. Only works on the weak-minded people.
Yeah, and they gaslight the Black African community is their target audience. Anyone that's got a belief in a God, he uses that to his advantage. He reckons he's a good Christian man, and I'm sure he'll get have a funeral in a church. And here he is to fraud people, and he's going to go to God and get buried. It's just amazing.
That's cool. Maybe we can help each other out in the future.
Was that me? It was. Yep.
It's not psychology, just giving you a heads up you don't have much to lose in any case. Clapping hands. Thumbs up. Thumbs down. Smiling face with smiling eyes and rosy cheeks.
So
Disappointed face.
This is
I'm very strong-minded.
Well, still going. What's happening here? I'm very strong-minded. So this is like schoolboy pissing competition, isn't it, really?
Sorry, I don't know. She get what you were saying. Heads up in the future for what? I've had a pretty colorful life to date, and I've got pretty thick skin, and I think I've seen and done it all. I just get on with it, mate. As I said, I'm not really into a pissing competition. If you were the top dog, you can be the top dog if you want. It's all good with me.
Yeah, I don't give a flying piss.
Now that's pretty presumptuous that you think I don't have anything to lose. Did you draw that conclusion all by yourself? Always talk down to people. Is that your theory? You do seem to like a lot of respect for other people and obviously promote yourself as some hero in your own world. Those humbly or the exalted and those exalting humbled. Thanks for having a chinwag. It's good to see your brain patterns and what's important to you. Go back and look after your grandchildren.
Yeah, yeah, that's from the Bible. Those exalting will be humbled, and those humbling will be exalted. Well, that's not right. Those exalting will be humbled, and those humbling will be exalted. Oh, I'm forgetting how it works. I think you get the gist of it.
Unlike your assessment, I took my time before entering the crypto space. That's why I've not had a history of scams. I stay well away, as you will discover. But when something has all the right hallmarks of a good project, I'm all in.
Yeah, he certainly was all in. How could you not think HyperVerse was a scam? Where did he think the money was coming from? Did he really believe that Ryan Jew was a bazillionaire and he was funding it? Did he think that Sam Lee, did he not do the research I did before he started promoting this to everybody? I heard that people were turning up with cash asking him to buy membership plans. Money laundering is what they got Bitcoin Rodney for. That's why he's incarcerated as we speak.
It's your legacy. Enjoy it.
Is it really that important, this money that everyone goes after at all costs?
I had a guy that invested $5 million in crypto and lost $3 million around Christmas time. He was going to end his life. It was quite sad. I talked them through. If that's the kind of person I am, you probably would have tried to get him to invest his last $2 million. We need people like me, and we need people like you in the world. We don't have to agree.
Yeah, mate of mine lost $3 million in crypto. And yeah, I'm sure Keith would have said, just keep going, reinvest. He might be right. Who knows? But the guy was devastated and truly suicidal. And he came around to see me and told me all about it. Spent a few hours helping him, I did.
By the way, I think you look better with short hair. Go get a haircut, mate.
He had a gollywog here at the stage, and I think this photo was quite good.
Now my hair is my strength. That was my corporate days. The real scam.
So the real world's the real scam. I get it. And I posted a URL. I wanted them to click on now I posted this URL because you're probably wondering why Danny used penis.co.nz, but I used to own that domain name, and I wanted them to click on it, and I wanted to see where he was chatting to me from, and he did click on it, and we did find out where he was from. I wanted to make sure he wasn't in India or something, and he really was in where he says he was, England somewhere. So there you go. That's what I do sometimes. Don't always click on URLs when you're chatting to people like me, because I'll probably figure out your location. I do it quite a lot of times when people send you those messages and you find out they're actually chatting to you from Nigeria.
Why you realize how many lives have been saved as a result of HyperVerse, then you may think differently.
Yep.
Your hair is like Samson's. You mean wonder who is going to cut your hair? That's high case. Out of curiosity, are you religious? Do you have a faith? And do you go to church?
Okay, so here's the link coming into play.
What is that link?
Well, click on it, Keith. He's wondering what that link is all about.
You're like a messiah and you're saving people from what? Financial freedom. That's an interesting take on it all. So you're saying you're like a Robin Hood and you're helping people. Good on you, mate. What are the feeling life you must have?
Oh, I don't think I got that. Remember, I'm dyslexic. Not all of it's going to do. Yes, he's a Pentecostal. Is that what he says? Yeah, I think he is very, very faithful. Yep, I would join. I don't think I'd join a religion just to get the money, but that's what they seem to do, isn't it? All right, let's see if we can get that without doing the smile. Let's go. Listen to it.
Yes, I'm Pentecostal. Very, very faithful. No, not Robin Hood. He robbed rich people. If I remember rightly, we show people there another way other than the system that has kept the poor and disadvantaged down for centuries.
Interesting. So Robin Hood used to steal. He robbed the rich, if he remembered. So Keith, that must have meant that Keith was robbing the poor and giving to the rich. Incredible. All right, let's have a listen.
Pentecostal, you mean? So you speak in tongues and faith heal. That's basically what they do, doesn't it? So you're a man of the clock. Well done. So you believe in the Bible. Do to others as you want done to yourself. Great way of living life. That principle, isn't it? Don't have any beliefs anymore myself. Don't even believe in God. Think it's rubbish. But we're entitled to our own beliefs. Wouldn't you agree?
And that is truly just my opinion after my upbringing as a Jehovah's Witness. I don't have to have a belief. I don't have to be told what to do anymore. And I think these crypto investment platforms should do the same thing. Go invest in crypto, purchase membership in a platform if you want, but don't recruit and don't sell it to mum and dad investors. You don't have the right to give investment advice to other people. That's my opinion.
I forgot Robin Hood stole from the rich people, so you're more like stealing from the poor people.
It's exactly what he's done.
Anyway, whatever, knocked out all good. My books. I've got a life, so I've got to go. Nice chatting to you, my friend. Look forward to catching up with you one day.
So then I've sent that link again. His curiosity must have got the better of him because I'm pretty sure he clicked on it because I could see where he lived.
That's quite surprised that we are doing that.
So I was trying to allege that something about him is there. He must click on. He must have clicked on it. We'll see if he does in a minute.
You jump on a Caribbean call the other night. Do you know how poor and disadvantaged they are? Now they can breathe and put food on the table. But you wouldn't know that because you're too focused on malting money to get yourself out of a hole.
So they went to the Caribbean. They pushed memberships there and people bought them. And then they recruited other people. And these poor people in the Caribbean were getting rich because Keith was selling membership packages to them. But what about the people that lost all their money? Who bought the packages? Come on, mate. It didn't work. That's what I was saying.
Don't know what that link is. Sounds very strange. I won't click it.
Oh, you did click it though. Okay, so then I gave him another one that was even better.
That's okay, mate. I know you struggle with computer and technology. Talkscode.nz. There's a better one for you anyway. It's all about psychology.
Let's see what happens.
No, not stealing from the poor. Redistributing the wealth so the poor can eat. You wouldn't understand, bro. Too much for you to comprehend.
Always insult people's intelligence. Gaslight them. That's what you do.
Mate, you know in your heart what you're doing isn't good for everybody. It's only good for a few people, and it is all about getting rich. I just don't love money as much as some people.
I would like to have more money in my life, but I don't want to.
No, I don't spend my time clicking links. That's your world.
Yeah, I would like to be rich, but I don't want to. I want to be able to sleep at night as well.
I just couldn't read that presentation for a living and encourage people into thinking about investing in something good. I'd rather shoot myself in the face before I started doing that for a living.
Yeah, so he's insulting what I'm doing and the way I live my life and money. But every Saturday they would go through that presentation, HyperVerse presentation, and if you're doing really, really well, money's oozing at your seams, then why are these guys in front of a Zoom meeting gaslighting people into investing in these crypto investments so they're going to be rich because they want to be rich? And you can see the greed in the comments here and how important it is for him to actually have money in his life. And then he feels justified at criticizing other people because they don't have the wealth that he's managed to scam out of people, or he managed. Can't take your money with you, though, can you?
You're very savvy at running the schemes, and I'm sure you're used to every trick in the book. If you did click on that link, I would have been able to find out where you were based, and I would have used that in my next story about you.
So I'm fessing up and telling what the link's all about.
Few people, you make me laugh. You have no idea, do you? None whatsoever.
Yep, a few people. No, he knew it was massive. He was making a fistload of money out of this. Okay, so now I'm telling him about my dyslexia.
Don't really understand that last comment. Few people, you make me laugh. You have no idea, do you? None whatsoever. What the hell is that meant to mean? You do realize I'm dyslexic, don't you?
So I've sent him another link, and he must be getting curious because I think I actually managed to get him in there. I think this. Who's the next one? Is it me again? Okay, so I'm not going to read this out, but basically it's my speech about dyslexia, and it talks about there are some very clever people, dyslexic people, to name a few: John Lennon, Nigel Kennedy, Walt Disney, Tommy Hilfiger. Now, Einstein wasn't labeled as a dyslexic person, but he had traits of being dyslexic because it was before dyslexia was actually known. Richard Branson, John Britton, which is the guy that invented that really fast motorbike that lives in Christchurch, New Zealand, where I live, Abraham Graham Bell, and these are all people that have dyslexia. So there's hope for me yet. But that was just the words to my my story, and I thought I'd chuck it in there to entice him to click on the link. Let's see if he did.
You said a few people are getting rich. Sorry, mate, but you were way off with your understanding of the plan.
The plan. The world's going to get rich. Where does the money come from? Terminal philosophy doesn't happen. So then I was still going on about the dyslexia thing because he's giving me a hard time about being dyslexic. No, it's not actually a bad thing. It's actually, I use it to my advantage as much as I can. Let's carry on.
Oh, you're back on the cult talking about understanding HyperVerse again. Are you trying to convince me that it's a real deal and I'm missing out on an opportunity? Fuck's sake, mate, I am way back past that shit. I can see through it as clear as...
I did. It took me 2 minutes to figure out. Well, it didn't even take 2 minutes. It took me less. It just took seconds to know that HyperVerse was a scam.
I feel very sorry for you. I'm not trying to talk you into anything. I think you are carrying scars from your experience with that cult you were in. I'm way too strong-minded to get myself caught up in such nonsense. But you probably were weak and needy at the time.
So do you think that Keith Williams would have any regrets? Do you think he liked his legacy that he left? I mean, he's left the planet. Where's he gone? Up, down, if you believe that? Where do you think Keith Williams' future, if he carried on, where do you think Keith Williams could finish up? Would he be incarcerated with his buddy, Bitcoin Rodney? Would he, I literally had the men in black go around and visit him. I heard that he had, I think, $1.5 million clawed back from the UK tax department. That's what I heard. That's what the men in black told me. The same people that said they were going to arrest Bitcoin Rodney, the same people that told me that that Brenda Chunga was brought in for questioning. She was being used as an informant to trap Sam Lee. The same people that said that they were going to charge Sam Lee for serious fraud told me that they clawed back actually £1.5 million from Keith, the tax department. His friend told me it was nonsense, but he said he would check with Keith when he visited him at Christmas time because he spent Christmas with him. So something went down, but no one got arrested. So what would have happened to Keith Williams if he didn't pass away on the 12th?
Anyway, mate, gotta go to bed. I have a flight aeroplane to catch in a few hours. Keep in tough, mate, touch.
Alrighty.
Not the brightest tool in the shed. Thank you for your location.
So Keith couldn't help himself. And this is what people like me will do if you're not careful. I'm not going to enlarge that map because this is already blown up beyond portion, but that map was actually the location of Keith. I could actually see where he was and what area he was going by his service provider. And I also got his IP address, which I found out who he's connected to, his internet provider, and all sorts of things. So never click on a link from a Danny de Hek post. He said he didn't click on the link, and there he is. He lied to me. Couldn't help himself. He just finished up having a look. And then it was because the link I gave him, I knew no one else was on it. And so it was quite cool.
Mate, it's like 2:45 in the morning. What are you doing up that like you got to go to bed, dude?
So I figured out what time of day it was and where he was. And and that's what I was saying.
So what? My location. And I don't get you. You're too fascinated with tech, bro. Yes, it's very, very late here. I only need 4 hours sleep, sleeping sign. That's because I have a purpose and a passion.
Yeah, and because I don't have money and I'm dyslexic and I wear a cheap suit, I don't have a purpose and I don't have a passion. Is that what you're insinuating? Was that what you're insinuating?
Unless you're sending assassins, then you can have my location. I have nothing to hide and I fear no one. I live by my faith.
How's your faith going for you now, Keithy?
My faith has protected me.
Certainly
Very
has.
sorry you had a bad experience. Maybe join a Pentecostal church. We're very happy clappy, not like that serious stuff served up at Kingdom Hall.
Yeah, he knows about Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh, and that not my location. Oops.
Yeah, chat soon. So that was off. So then what do? We still go 35 minutes later.
G'day, mate. Definitely wouldn't worry about me knowing your location. A lot of the people that contact me actually in countries like Nigeria and Kenya. Just gives me peace of mind that you really are the real deal because you are obviously in America. Glad you have faith in God. I lost that a long time ago. I will the best. Have a safe flight. Thanks for chatting. It's been fun.
Yeah, so that was my main interaction with Keith Williams. And I'm not sure if I had any other interaction, but I just wanted to go through the banter that I had with Keith. And it's not unlike the banter I have with people like Chavis, who taunts me on a Sunday morning and gets 20 people to text me, telling me that they're going to hire me to do their marketing. Or they want to pay me $500 a month if I could do their internet marketing for them. I get taunted by lots of people. It sort of goes with the trade. I don't mind the banter and I can stand it for myself. And I've got pretty thick skin and I don't have a cheap suit. I actually have a Ted Baker suit, which cost me $1,500, which isn't a cheap suit. And I like it. It's nice and shiny and it's got a purple lining. And if you have to insult people's education, if somebody is in a wheelchair, would Keith come up and say, "Oh, you're in a wheelchair, I'm rich"? I mean, this is the sort of stuff. And where did your money get you? Where did it go? Did it help you? Did your faith in God help you? Maybe you would have been incarcerated along with Bitcoin Rodney. This could have been a blessing. You know, no one wants to wish cancer on anybody, and I definitely am not saying that. But karma is something I do believe in. And karma is a bitch. Maybe karma caught up with Keith. Maybe if I'm doing something wrong by exposing these scammers, maybe I need to work harder at getting my facts as correct as I can. But here I am, 2 years ago, calling out Keith Williams as a scammer. I asked him, how do you sleep at night scamming, knowing that you're scamming people? Oh, and he said, it's not a scam. Well, look in the papers, do research. Everybody who was involved with HyperVerse knows they got scammed. I'm going to just go through the last bit. Morning, I'm trying to get a conversation with him again. Hope you had a safe flight. And then he insulted me. Well, not insulted me, but he claimed that I had a hidden agenda basically and was trying to earn money. So I gave him a discount code so he could do one of my workshops. And the discount code was to do my LinkedIn workshop. You can now sign up for that LinkedIn workshop for $1 a month on my YouTube channel. It's in one of the playlists. But I thought that was quite funny. But I don't know if he actually communicated with me anymore. Now, this was on April the 7th. I sent him a message. On the April 11th, I sent him a message. Every time I posted a podcast or a new video, I posted him a message. And then the 18th of April, posted him a message, no reply. And then on the 18th of May, there was a new opportunity. This is when Hyper One began. And this was my video about Hyper One where Sam Lee is meant to come out of hiding. And this was actually the company that Chavis was doing the promotions for. Now, Chavis is still running today. Now, that was on the May the 18th. So that would have been probably about the 16th when that scam was presented. So then on May the 25th, hey, mate, you must be under a lot of pressure at the moment. Hope you are managing okay. If you need someone to talk to, I'm here for you. That was on the 25th of May. This is when the wheels were starting to fall off. On the October The third, how I should have said, how are you going, Keith? Have you really got a heart? There's a guy that you could do. I'm going to have to read that because my reading is shocking.
Are you going, Keith? Have you really got a heart? There's another guy that could do with getting his pension money back, hoping that you could reach out to the man, fast track his 1 times.
So Keith made a statement that everyone's going to, well, he's hoping that he could perform a miracle and get everyone's 1 times back. So here's a guy that is called Mike Lucas. It's not the Mike Lucas we're talking about recently, but this is a Mike Lucas. He's lost to $25,000. I was hoping that Keith Williams would watch this video and have a little bit of empathy, and even because Keith at this time had made millions of dollars. He'd made enough to at least buy a £3 million house, have a couple of million in the bank, buy some property for his family to get passive income from, and also transfer a whole lot of money offshore. That's what I got told by the men in black. This video was the one that was embedded in the New York Times. Still no response from Keith. And then here he comes out as the global sales representative for Hibernation, basically washing his hands from HyperVerse and going straight into Hibernation. And I'm sure, as Keith said earlier, he didn't have any time for social media. And then on November the 1st, I did a bit of gloating.
Hey, Keith, I gave the New York Times your home address. You should have had a guy knock on your door about 10 days ago. Just so you know, the guy in the cheap suit struggles to pay his rent every week is getting an article in the New York Times, and you were featured.
Yeah, so they did send someone around to knock on Keith's door. Now, just 6 weeks ago, I published Keith Williams' address, and I also published a photo of him on his 60th birthday bash night. Because I got sick of the attitude of the guy who said he was his best friend, and he basically said, well, Keith's got money, other people lost money, they knew what they were getting into, and it's okay for Keith to keep the money. I didn't feel right about that. So I was in the New York Times, and there I was, Danny de Hek, aka the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger. And embedded in the middle of the article was my video where Keith Williams has stolen £25,000 from Mike Lucas. And I was asking him to give it back. So then on the 25th of December 2022, this is when Keith probably found out he actually did have cancer. It could have been around about this time.
Merry Christmas, Keith. Do you have any dealings with Stephen Mikola, Luna 1 Apollo?
So he must have, well, I won't say he dropped dead,
Keith,
but
where have you gone? Let's chat again, wink.
Keith's ignored me. And this is me pleading with Keith. Listen to this.
G'day, Keith. I know that I have been a thorn in your side ever since you started promoting HyperVerse. I would love the opportunity to interview you. Love to hear the real story, what enticed you to get involved and put everything on the line. You criticize me as a silly YouTuber wearing a cheap suit, but as you are now aware, I come with a bit of a bite, and I'm sure this is causing you a few sleepless nights right now.
So we've been told, and we are quite aware that these guys watch our videos. These guys react on what we say because it's all about keeping the community together and people thinking they're not being scammed. And these messages were intended for Keith to read, even if he didn't reply. And I was hoping it made a difference and it gave a bit of an influence. And there was no doubt about it that a lot had happened because this was a long time after when Keith and I initially banged heads.
The outcome probably isn't going to be that good for you, unfortunately. I do want to have an opportunity to speak in public and tell your story. I would love to be your voice.
And I would have loved to interview Keith Williams. I wouldn't have ripped him to shreds. I just would have liked to understand the mentality about what he did. And I would have liked to ask him a very important question. This video I did, nothing is certain, more certain, except death and taxes. And I published that video when I heard that the men in black had told me that they had recovered or clawed back $1.5 million from Keith for unpaid taxes. His friends scoffed at the idea, but then he thought he'd better clarify and ask Keith. Would have Keith told him if he did? I doubt it. But the men in black had told me a whole lot of other facts that had proven true. There's one other fact that I will tell you before it happens that I've been told, and that is Kalpesh Patel, Keith Williams' sidekick, his buddy, is also going to be charged for serious fraud from America. And that will happen in a few weeks. Mark my words. Everybody that's involved in this scam and doing these video presentations will eventually get caught up with. My advice to anyone that's made enough money is to get out of it now and hide, or just live a quiet life. Sit there, count your money, and make sure you're living the dream. The most important thing is your friends, your relationships. How many friends have you got in your circle? You should all have 5 really close friends. And you have a bigger circle around those, about 20 people. And then you have acquaintances, not just family, close friends. How many friends do you have? How do you go about building relationships with people? Master the art of listening. Listen to people. Have respect for people. What drives one person like Keith Williams, what drives me, maybe 2 different things. I've had a shit of an upbringing. I could have every excuse to be a failure. I struggle financially, not because, I've had money. I've brought in $500,000 worth of sales in a year, and I took home $275,000 in 12-month period. That was in 2004. I paid my taxes. I sold advertising to people who wanted to advertise on my website. I do drop shipping as a living. I've traveled to 35 countries. I haven't bought a secondhand car for at least the last 15 years. I've owned V8s. I've owned big 4-wheel drives. I don't drive around in Range Rovers and sports cars, but I lease cars. I keep in brand new cars. The car I've currently got is worth about $33,000 if I bought it brand new. I'm not materialistic. If you looked around my office, you'd think I was, because I've got some pretty cool gear, because I'm passionate about podcasting and YouTubing. At the moment, that's what I'm passionate about. I love photography. I love mountain biking. I love running. I can't run at the moment because I've got bad feet. For 12 months, I haven't been able to run. It hurts when I walk. I'm finally getting some help with my feet. We don't all live perfect lives. It's just really sad. That's the important things. Well, that was my tribute video to my mate, my buddy, my friend, Keith Williams. And I just wanted people to know that Keith did have a major impact in my career as a YouTuber. As I said at the start, I did my apprenticeship with Keith. Keith hurled abuse at me. The people that are connected to Keith would overwhelm you if I sat here and showed you them all. I feel for Keith Williams' family, because losing anybody, good or bad, in your family, I'm sure he's got great qualities as a family provider. But there's some people, and I've been reading the comments in my Keith Williams videos. As I said, I own Keith Williams online. There's a basketball guy who's Keith Williams, and there was Keith Williams when you search for Keith Williams. Now, the basketball guy I don't know from a bar of soap. But what legacy do you want to leave? Are you doing these presentations in Zoom meetings? Are you trying to build other people's wealth like you claim? Or are you struggling to survive yourself, and you think that if only I had 1,000 people buy these packages, I could be rich, I could be wealthy, I could buy myself a £3 million mansion, I could buy some property, and I've had that passive income. If only these people that are in these Zoom meetings would hurry up and buy these packages so I get the percentage every time I sell one. What legacy do you want to leave? What do you want to be remembered by? Can a leopard change its spots? What do you want people to think about you? Are you proud when you walk down the street and you bump into somebody? Do you want to walk into a cafe or a bar and have a look around and make sure there's no one in there knows that you took their money? Is it really that important, money? Greed. Greedy people. Come on. Are you brainwashed? Have you been gaslighted by these people in these communities? Something that happened in the last 48 hours, and actually over the last week, we actually saw a lady on a Zoom meeting, and she was logging in to her wewe.Global back-end office. She put her username in, and then she put her password in, and anybody could have seen her username and password. She was holding her phone in an angle where she didn't think people could see it. But the people in the Zoom meeting had asked her to share her screen. So she thought people couldn't see her screen. So I got the username and I got the login details and I logged into her account. And I did this so I could get her phone number and her email address to warn her that she was getting scammed. She was a Black African lady. I can only assume that she's religious. She believes that what people say they mean with their hand on their heart. This lady, I talked to her on the phone for half an hour, trying to convince her that she was in and getting scammed. Today, she was back in the Zoom meeting asking the scammers for support. I was ringing her, trying to warn her that these guys are scammers. She says to the people, he's ringing me right now. It's Danny de Hek. He's the Avenger guy. You may know him. They all know me. And she didn't believe that I'm not a scammer because I hacked into her account. You can't help some people. So I asked one of my other Avengers to contact her and ask her to look at our videos. Look at this video. We're not here to scam you. We're here to save you. That lady is their perfect clientele. She trusts what people say. She wants to be rich, but what they're selling isn't going to get her rich. It's going to make them rich. And if you took a Ponzi scheme that's going on at the moment, which is wewe or Satoshi, you got to ask that question my mate Rob always asks. How much of their money do you have? How much money of yours do they have? It just goes on and on. Keith, Godspeed for you. When I leave this planet, I don't want to think I'm going up or down. I don't want to believe anything to do with God, the universe, or anything. I'm happy in my boots. I want to leave a legacy. I want to be the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger. I want to get a tattoo on my arm, and it's going to be 1001, which is the error code you get when we take down another Zoom meeting. If you log into a Zoom meeting and you get the error message 1001, you'll know that Danny de Hek, aka the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger, has got one other Zoom meeting down, or the Avengers have done the same. Thanks for watching my video, and think about what legacy you want to leave. There you guys.